Good morning, my friends. This is Rabbi Aharon Dobinsky coming to you today from the holy city of Jerusalem in Israel. What a beautiful day it is today. I started the day by going to shul. I do this often. A lot of you do the same things, admit it. But it was kind of an interesting situation. It was time for the minyan to begin. It was the main minyan of a shul that is fairly decent sized. And here we were with count them, four people, six short of a minyan. It was a little disheartening because where do we think we're going to get the resolve and the answers to solve the problems that are confronting us right now? It comes from prayer. You know, we just read about the Midianites and the fact that Moshe sent out 1,000 men from each tribe. That's 12,000 men to fight the Midianites. And they came back, by the way, unscorched. Nobody was hurt. Wow. Now that's a miracle. But it was 12,000 men. Now the Israelis, the children of Israel, conquered the land of Canaan. Conquered it. And they took it all. But for those of you who don't remember this part of it, there were 2.5 tribes who decided they wanted to settle on the other side of the border. They wanted to settle in the line of Bashan, over there in that area. So they went to Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe said to them, well, sure. You want to sit over here while your brothers go over to Israel and fight the battles for you. And they said, no. We want to settle over here because it's great for our cattle. We will go with you. Just give us a little bit of time to build pens for our livestock, homes for our wives and children, and then we will come with you, all of us, to help you conquer the land. Well, did he really need them all? The answer is yeah. That's why he said he wanted them all there. He said, if you could do that, then you can come back and that can be your portion. Okay. Numbers are a very important thing. Having a critical balance of people in the right position is the good thing. And the fact is, we're going through something right now we've never been through in our lifetimes. None of us. The closest we've ever seen to it was our parents who saw World War II and what happened there and the Great Depression, okay? But even that, I don't think was anywhere close to what we're seeing right now between this COVID-19 and between the terrorism that is breaking out all over the world. Now, the COVID-19 has become a very controversial subject. You know, there are those who say you got to wear the mask. There are others who say, no, you don't wear the mask. There are those who say it's very highly contagious. There's others who say, no, it's not really highly contagious. Now, a new thing I read about today, well, it's not new, I've read about it before. Italy decided to defy the World Health Organization, and instead of just burying the bodies or burning the bodies, they decided to do an autopsy. What a novel idea. See really what's causing the death of these people. They have come to the conclusion it is not a virus at all. It is a bacteria. And how it kills people is it gives a thrombosis. It goes in and it clogs up the arteries. Then the arteries can't work. And they can't get oxygen to the lungs. And therefore the person dies. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. Maybe that is right. Maybe this guy's right. Maybe Fauci's right. Maybe he's not right. Maybe it's better to go out and get everybody out there and let this thing run its course. Maybe it's not. The point I'm trying to make here is there is no definitive answer that is commonly agreed to. There's this opinion, there's that opinion, there's this opinion, there's that opinion, there's this opinion, there's that opinion. How do we know? The answer is we really don't know. Who knows? Somebody's got to know. Somebody does know. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem, he knows. He's the one who brought this. Who else besides him could bring something that could be so crippling to the world that would stop the world dead in its tracks? Only him. So it comes from him. So we have to assume, therefore, the cure, the answer, whatever you want to call it, also comes from him. Amazing, isn't it? Same thing with the violence around the world. The violence was the next step because apparently we didn't react fast enough or nearly enough for the first one, which was the plague. We didn't react properly to that. We didn't do what we were supposed to do, so he gave us more. And it gets worse, and it gets worse, and it gets worse. And I'm going to tell you, like I've told you before, if we fail to make the proper corrections, I don't even want to think about what's next, but I guarantee you this. it will bring us to our knees if we're not already there. I mean, begging, crying, screaming for help, because he's the only one who can do it. Obviously, the world is not working. This thing is going on and on forever. There are philosophies, there are theories on what can be done, but none of them is proven. And none of them probably will be proven. And the reason is because nobody really knows. He really knows. Nobody else. So, getting back to my story about being one of 4 people this morning at shul, and I'm not trying to tell you my shul's a bad shul. The people are wonderful, and they're usually there. But between all that, we're closing it today, only 10 people, only 19 people, only this many people. They're all confused. They don't know what to do. But here's what you need to understand. You want to fix this? Do we really want to fix it? We talked about teshuvah. We even talked about some of the things we can do teshuvah for. What we have not talked about is how can we really do this? And I wanted to tell you something. And I was realizing this today as I was going through the Amidah, the major prayer. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to share it with you. It's a recipe. Yeah, you heard me right. It's a recipe. It tells us what Hashem does for us. It tells us how we need to ask for things. It tells us what we need to get done. Just a few of the things. I'm going to go through this with you. Just not all of them, but some things you should know about. We start out by calling God the great, mighty, and awesome God, exalted, who bestows bountiful kindness, who creates all things, who remembers the piety of the patriarchs, and who, in love, brings the Redeemer to their children's children for the sake of his name. Boy, is that powerful. Don't you wish that was happening right now? Well, it's in the process of happening right now, but we need to hurry along the process. And we need to do that by doing what he tells us to do. We talk, before we even start into it, it is mentioned that he has already saved us before. Hey, if it's been done once, it can be done again. It's been done many times, actually. He's done it many, many, many times. He's forgiven us virtually everything. The golden calf, he forgave us for that. All the things we have done wrong, he has forgiven us for. The spies, he did not forgive us for. We pay for that every year on Tisha B'Av. We all know about this. But even that is something that we can be forgiven for. Remember, that was another case. The people were very upset, and they cried all night for no reason, because there was 10 of the men came back and said it was a bad place to go. And they were saying Lashon Hara about Israel, basically. And when they finally realized what a mistake they made, they said, we're going to go attack now. We're going to go to get Canaan. We're going to get the land of Canaan for us. And Moshe said, don't do it. God's not with you right now. They said, well, we can do it without him. We can do it. We can do this. And they went and they got their heads handed to them. We need him on our side. Let's go through this a little bit further. He sustains the living with loving kindness. He resurrects the dead. That's pretty powerful stuff. Most of us can't do these things. It tells us what we need to be doing. It tells us how to go about it. It tells us, behold our affliction, and you, Hashem, are the mighty Redeemer. Blessed are you, who Redeemer of Israel. Next one, heal us, and we shall be healed. I mean, it doesn't get any plainer than this. I could go on through the whole thing, but I don't want to just give you the Amidah. You can read the Amidah for yourself, but I implore you, if you don't know what it says, go read it and find out, and do what it says. And if you do know what it says, do yourself a favor, read it again, so you remember what it says. Why do I say this? Let me ask you a question. If you went to an earthly king, and you had a request, do you suppose you would go to him and you would say, Your Majesty, I need money because I need to get my car, I need to get my house, I need to get my tent, to get my thing, No, you probably would say, Your Majesty, please, I beg of you. I need money for my children, for my house, for my car, for all the things in life that I need. You would be explicit. You would say the words. You would know what you're saying. And more importantly, he would know what you're saying. But how do we daven in shul every day? Most of us? Not all of us. There are people I hear who actually do the davening, actually say the words, actually know what they're saying. It's usually... Do you think that helps? I'm not saying it doesn't help at all, but do you think it might be a little bit more effective if we knew what we were saying, if we articulated what we were saying, if we were clear with Hashem with what we were saying? All he wants is us to walk in his ways. It told us that last week in the Haftorah. to walk in his ways, to be kind to our brothers. And because we should be kind to our brothers, I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to think about it. It says the second temple was destroyed for sinas chinam, for unfounded hatred for no reason. That's why the second temple was destroyed. So here's a thought you might want to consider. Perhaps, only perhaps, but perhaps the third Beit HaMikdash will come back because of avat chinam, love for no reason whatsoever. The love of us for our families, for our friends, for all of our people, for all of the human beings of the world, knowing that those who are good will continue with us and will keep moving forward. Those who are offline, we can hope to bring them back. But you know something, one of the most frustrating things in life is to want something for somebody else more than they want it for themselves. So we have to work on ourselves. We have to work on our own corrections, our own tikkunim. We have to work on the tikkunim because we have to do our own personal redemption. And if we do our personal redemption, and if we do have baseless love for all of people, all of Hashem's children, because you know one of the best ways to get somebody not to like you is to not like their children. If we can do that, I tell you, my friends, we look forward very seriously, very quickly to our personal redemption and the entire universal redemption, the redemption of the world and the bringing about of Mashiach Tzidkenu, and the third Beit HaMikdash. B'mei Rabbi Yameinu Amen. Everyone have a great Shabbos and a great weekend and a great week ahead. It's up to you. Every day we wake up and we have a clean page. We wake up because Hashem brings us around because he's got something still for us to do. We have a clean page. It's up to us to write down what's on that page. So let's write the right things. Let's move forward and let's bring an end to the plague, an end to violence in the world. Be well, my friends. God bless. All the best.